Naibu Rais, Waheshimiwa Mabalozi Marafiki Hamjambo. It's my honor to make this short presentation on behalf of the 90 partners who come together, 9 UN agencies, funds and programs, Kenya Red Cross, and another 80 international and national NGOs who come together within this humanitarian country team and who have been responding already to this terrible emergency. Good. Before I begin, let me just renew, Excellency, on behalf of the Secretary General and on my own behalf, and I'm sure on behalf of all of the partners in the room, our condolences to Kenya's government, her people, and particularly to the families of, as of today, 229 Kenyans who've lost their lives, but as we know, and as PS, my brother, has reminded us, quite a number more still missing, so we expect the death toll, very sadly, to rise. Sir, you brought us together in this tent back in September to talk about El Nino and to get ready. And I really want to thank you for that leadership back then. We were already very active as the 90 partners during the first phase of the flooding, back before the end of 2023, when we had nearly 600,000 people affected. And it's hard to believe that we're dealing with a second phase already with getting on for 300,000 people affected again. And as a number of speakers have reminded us, all of that building on 3 years of drought, and with every possibility that we may be back into drought later in this year. So the climate emergency is exacting a terrible price from Kenya, a country that didn't create the climate emergency. This graphic here, sir, shows you the 8 emergency hubs where all of us in this 90-strong response come together. And again, I think we've learnt the lesson of history to be ready and prepared. And so these hubs, since the start of the crisis again in March, have already been responding. Yes. So 2 quick slides. I won't go through in exhaustive detail, but on the response so far. So shelter and non-food, nearly 65,000 people reached already. Hygiene promotion, nearly 15,000 people. Water, sanitation and health, nearly 120,000 people in Garissa, Tana River, Wajir, Mandera, Lamu. And we've pre-positioned stock for another 160,000 people. And I think cholera has already been mentioned. We do know that there has been a small outbreak already in the northern part of the country, and we're very active in that space, and it's something that I will come back to. Cash transfers and food distribution, about 45,000 people reached, 4,200 cartons of ready-to-use therapeutic feeding for malnourished children in 9 counties. Logistics, and this was mentioned a little bit earlier. I'm delighted that we've been able to requisition the 6x6. These are these heavy-duty trucks that can get through flood waters. So we've been able to requisition those again and to lend mobile storage units from WFP to Kenya Red Cross. The refugee response, 12,000 additional people helped with shelter and non-food items. We're very, very worried about the inundation of the refugee camps, sir. That's coming on top of the fact that the food ration is being cut to just 40% of what is needed already for the refugees in the camps. On education, and that's also a need that's been highlighted, so we've pre-positioned 800 education kits, 18 sets of high-performance tent and flooring materials, so that we can really try to help schools reopen that are going to have trouble doing so because of the floodwaters, or because those schools have been being used to house the displaced. Health, there's quite a bit of detail here, and I can promise the partners in the room and government that we'll share this presentation afterwards with all of the detail. But pre-positioning of emergency health kits for cholera control, I think PS Mary Muthoni and my brother, the WHO representative, have been working on this very closely together. Mosquito-treated nets, because we need to be worried about the spread of malaria, and much, much more. Child protection, dignity kits and sanitary pads for kids. I mean, it's one need compounded on top of another in a crisis of this kind, and worrying about, as always in a crisis, the potential rise in gender-based violence. And so 60,000 dignity kits distributed there, and underwear and other supplies for 26,000 or so young Kenyans. Sir, just to go then quickly on to the need, because we're proud to have been able to reach as many as we have already. But because of your leadership, we knew that this was coming. So already in March, the international and national partners, we got together, we did our scenario planning. 600,000 people were affected in the last round of flooding. We took 400,000 as a reasonable estimate. And goodness me, we're not that far away from that now. We're close to 300,000 already in this phase.